Hi everybody, Dan Ullman, Matt Bernier with the Thursday DRF Bets Race of the Day. It's race number 3 at Oaklawn Park. If you sign up for a new DRF Bets account right now, you will access a $200 free bet, no deposit required. Please go to drf.com/join and use the promo code FREEBET09. Here's the field for race number 3. We're going a mile. It is for Arkansas breds. It is a non-winners of one other than allowance for fillies and mares. You can access free formulator past performances for this race on the Race of the Day event page on drf.com. Download them and handicap along with Matt and I. We're going to take a look at this field in post position order. The one's Mary Lou. Mary Lou's 3 starts this meet have not been very good. Inside post position, maybe a bit of stretch out speed, but a deserving long shot.
Yeah, 1 for 19, 5 times second or third. I have to be honest with you. This is a race for me. It's pick your poison because it's kind of hard for me to love anyone in here. Mary Lou, even having said that, she's just, if she wins, I will lose everything.
The number 2 is She's Undaunted, and She's Daunted's most recent win came over a sealed, sloppy track. That was a 77 Beyer speed figure, far and away the biggest number of her career. You look at the card that day at Louisiana Downs. They ran 4 races, then they canceled. The races were dominated by speed. I'm just going to take that 77 and draw a line through it and go with her usual performances. And I'm not sure those usual performances are what's going to get it done. She's also a question mark at this distance.
Yeah, I would agree with all that, especially because it would be one thing if that was like a one-off, the one time that she tried a sloppy sealed track. It's not. She's run on a number of wet tracks before, and she's never done anything close to that. I think you're looking at a low to mid-60 for a winning Beyer. She hasn't sniffed that outside of that 77. I don't like her.
3 is Dixie Lover. Dixie Lover's been well beaten in her last 2 starts, but she's going to be a price, and she has a positive formulator fact in her corner. Dixie Lover's trainer, William Martin, over the past year with older horses on dirt, making the second start after the claim, winning at 40% with a $4.24 ROI. This is another horse that can contribute to the pace stretching out in distance.
It's going to ultimately be interesting to see where she ends up putting herself, because I think she's at her best when she's out right on the lead. Now you get the stretch out in distance second off the layoff. I would imagine they have one way to go with her, and that's put her into the run. She's got a couple of races on her page that at least make her a minor contender, I think.
I think the 4 Beautiful Honduras is usable in this spot. She's going to stretch out in her second start of the form cycle. Her most recent race, while she finished behind a couple of these, it was her first start since September. She had a little bit of traffic trouble, and now she's stretching out to a more appropriate distance. Plus, if the pace is fast, she can rally late. She's interesting.
Yeah, she's proven that the 2 turns isn't really much of an issue. You see, you go all the way back to Louisiana Downs in May of last year. She won there only by a neck. But I think the big thing is, for so many of these girls in this race, it's going to be a matter of 1, distance, and 2, the running style. And really, okay, maybe Beautiful Honduras doesn't love to win races, but you know that she could get a good setup in here, and the 2 turns isn't an issue.
Fetches Man is the number 5. John Court, Jinx Fires, this horse a maiden winner last time out. It was her first race against fellow Arkansas breds. She gave a solid performance going the 6th. Now she's going to stretch out. She's so lightly raced that we probably have not seen Fetches Man's best race. She's going to have to deal with some other speed. She's going to have to deal with this distance.
Yeah, she's going to need to learn to sit a little bit here and relax. She's also got a really negative formulator fact for Jinx Fires. Past 5 years, maiden winner last out, 1 for 29 with an 11-cent ROI. I guess the thing that at least I was intrigued by was that second lifetime start at Ellis Park, which is basically, what do you want to call it, 1.5 turns, if you will. It's not 2 turns fully, but she was only beaten by a half a length when she was 20-1 that day. It at least gives me the hope that maybe she can navigate 2 turns.
Let's see what the Timeform U.S. Pace Projector has in store for this race. The red bar indicates that the pace will be fast. It could be set by the 6, Dixie Flyer, who is getting blinkers for the first time. I like this horse's performance at a mile 3 starts back at Canterbury, where she was up close to the pace, just had no answer when the favorite came calling on the far turn, and eventually that horse was run down by a sharp one. Next out winner, Memories Galore. She now has 2 races off of the long layoff. She should have gained bottom from those 2 6-furlong starts. She should show speed, but that red bar makes me a little bit nervous.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, you've got to factor that in where she could get cooked early on. I agree with you. The two, three-quarters races now stretching out. I don't think that's going to be much of an issue. Now the problem is, did the dynamics of the race work against her?
The 7 is 11-point River. This one's only 1 for 20 in her career. It's her third start back, but I guess one of the angles, if you really want to look at it, is she stretched out last year at Woodbine. Her last race against Arkansas breds resulted in a win. Her last 6 races have come against open competition, but I think that's a bit of a reach.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, I just look at her overall body of work, the career best buyer of 51, not good enough to get it done, I don't think. And if it does, this race is really, really poor.
Michelle's Grace is a little bit interesting because we've only seen her twice, and I guess you can make the argument she has some upside potential. The horse that beat her last time out in her first start against Winners is Okay. She came back and ran third in a little stakes race for Arkansas breds and improved her buyer speed figure to a 67. This one's going to have to deal with distance. Her sire, Mr. Neitlinger, was just a true turf sprinter.
Yeah, and like you say, now you got to stretch out to the mile. You're dealing with a horse that to date, she's only earned a buyer of 48, but she has the sort of positive in her corner where she's not fully exposed like some of these other girls may be. If you think there's going to be any sort of a significant move forward, then maybe she's got a chance.
Kuainana is the number 9. This horse came off of a very long layoff last time out and just drubbed a field of Arkansas bred beaten claimers. 72 buyer speed figure. If you believe that buyer and she can run it again, she's probably the one to beat. She beat 3 of these last time out.
Yeah, I would agree with that. We'll find out about the stretch out in distance, but just strictly from a figure standpoint, she's the one that they're going to need to beat in here. The 4th place finisher was Acumen, who we'll get to. She's starting just to the outside. So, I mean, we're talking about a horse that pretty well handled that one. The only thing that concerned me a little bit, this trainer, past 5 years, sprint to route 1 for 35 with an exposure that's a positive, but at the same time, I don't know that I would want to be banking on her.
Let's take a look at our top selections for the Thursday race of the day. I am going to go with Acumen while realizing this is not a good post position with a short run going into the first turn. In Acumen's most recent race, just a week ago, she was out sprinted early. There was some pace going on there, but I like the fact that Acumen, normally a front runner, was able to make a big 5-wide bid turning into the stretch, and it took the odds-on favorite to run her down late. She showed a bit of a new dimension. The pace projector has her close to the pace. I wouldn't mind that if she could get a good spot without losing too much ground. If she can come from off it, I'm not too worried after the most recent performance, and she has won at a mile. She's 10-1 of the morning line. I think that's certainly a fair price considering her overall body of work.
I think she checks a lot of boxes. That outside post, like you say, not any sort of a bargain, but she's shown in that most recent start she can come from a little bit off of it. The distance I don't think is going to be a problem, especially if they go at it early on. I think she could sit a really good trip in here.
I'm going to go 10-9-5. I'd use all 3 of those horses in multiple race wagers. You're going with Fetches Mon the 5.
Yeah, just simply a matter of this horse is a little bit unexposed as opposed to some of the other girls in here. And also, like I said, going back to that second lifetime start at Ellis Park, it at least makes me think that maybe the 2 turns isn't going to be too much for her.
Competitive race with a big field at Oaklawn on Thursday for the race of the day. If you're playing at home, please sign up for a DRF Bets account. Be rewarded with a $200 free bet, no deposit required at drf.com/join when you use the promo code FREEBET09, and approximate post time for the 3rd at Oaklawn, 2:25 Central. Best of luck.